3 seconds. That's all you get. In just 3 seconds, she has already decided whether you're interesting or invisible. And here's the part that might surprise you. It has nothing to do with your face, your height, or your body. It has nothing to do with your clothes, your watch, or your haircut. You could look like a movie star and still fail this test. At the same time, someone who looks completely average could pass it effortlessly. Right now, many men are obsessing over the gym, their skincare routine, and their outfits, believing that's what attracts attention. Meanwhile, they're missing the one thing women notice within the first 3 seconds that shapes how they see you. What matters most is something far less obvious. It's your energy and your presence. Before you even say a single word, you're already sending signals about who you are. When you walk into a room, you're either stepping into that space confidently, or you're quietly apologizing for being there. You're either grounded and centered, or you're anxious and looking for approval. You're either comfortable in your own skin, or you're constantly wondering how others see you. Women notice this instantly. It's not a conscious analysis. They're not thinking, let me evaluate his energy. Instead, it's an instinctive reaction that happens in milliseconds. Their brain and nervous system pick up signals from your behavior and body language before any conversation even begins. Energy, in this sense, is simply how you move through space. It's whether your movements appear calm and confident or hesitant and uncertain. It's whether you make eye contact naturally or avoid it. It's whether your body language is open and relaxed or tense and closed. All of these signals communicate something about you. Are you relaxed or tense? Are you present in the moment or lost in your own thoughts? Are you calm or anxious? People are naturally wired to detect these small cues. That's why energy often matters more than appearance. Attraction based on looks can be subjective. Different people prefer different things. But confident, calm, grounded energy tends to be universally appealing. On the other hand, anxious or approval-seeking energy tends to push people away. You've probably seen this in real life. Imagine someone walking into a party while constantly adjusting his shirt, checking his phone, and scanning the room to see who might be watching him. His body language immediately suggests insecurity. Now compare that to someone who walks in calmly, takes a moment to observe the room, and moves naturally, as if he belongs there. The environment hasn't changed. The difference is simply the energy he brings into the room. This matters because energy often signals deeper traits like confidence, emotional stability, and self-assurance. However, many people misunderstand what confident energy actually looks like. Confidence doesn't mean being loud, dominant, or aggressive. Real confidence is usually quiet. It feels relaxed and steady. A person with genuine presence doesn't need to announce himself or dominate every conversation. He simply feels comfortable being himself. And that comfort naturally attracts attention. When someone approaches a group or enters a room with calm confidence, others can sense it. When someone enters while seeking approval or feeling unsure, that feeling is also noticeable. Much of this comes down to body language. Your posture, movements, and facial expressions communicate constantly. Even before you speak, people are already forming impressions. Confident body language often looks like this: standing upright with relaxed shoulders, taking up space naturally without trying to appear bigger, moving calmly rather than nervously, maintaining natural eye contact, having a relaxed facial expression. On the other hand, anxious body language often includes hunched shoulders, fidgeting hands, avoiding eye contact, forced smiles, constantly adjusting clothing or hair. These signals reveal how someone actually feels inside. Words can be controlled, but body language is much harder to fake. It reflects your internal state, and people are surprisingly good at picking up on it. During those first few seconds, the brain processes posture, facial expression, movement, and energy almost instantly. By the time someone consciously notices you, their subconscious may have already formed an initial impression. Different signals communicate different things. Slouched posture can suggest low confidence. Rigid posture can suggest tension. Relaxed posture often signals comfort and self-assurance. Fidgeting can suggest nervousness, while stillness often communicates calmness. Someone who truly feels confident doesn't have to think about these details. Their body language naturally reflects how they feel. And that's an important distinction. Confidence is not about exaggerating dominance or trying to look powerful. Those behaviors often come from insecurity. Genuine confidence appears relaxed and natural. People can usually tell the difference. The person who is forcing a dominant pose may look like he's trying too hard. The person who is simply comfortable with himself tends to appear more authentic. In those first few seconds, your body language tells a story. Either it shows someone who feels comfortable in his own skin, or someone who feels anxious about being judged. And people respond to that story immediately. However, body language alone cannot solve the problem. Simply copying confident gestures won't fully work if someone still feels insecure internally. Small signals will eventually reveal the truth. Real confidence comes from internal work. It develops through competence, self-acceptance, and building a life you genuinely enjoy. When someone becomes more secure internally, confident body language appears naturally. In your next social situation, pay attention to your own behavior. Notice whether you tend to make yourself smaller, avoid eye contact, or fidget. These signals are constantly communicating something. Then, observe someone who seems naturally confident. Their movements are relaxed, their posture is comfortable, and eye contact feels easy. That kind of presence usually comes from genuine inner security. Another important moment is the way you enter a space. When you walk into a room, approach a group, or arrive at a social event, people notice the energy of that entrance. Someone who feels comfortable will often pause briefly, observe the environment, and move naturally toward where they want to go. Someone who feels anxious might rush in, look down at their phone, or hover at the edges while searching for familiar faces. These small actions communicate comfort or discomfort. Even before a conversation begins, people are already sensing whether someone feels confident in that environment. And that initial moment can shape how every interaction unfolds afterward. Some try too hard with large, forced smiles. Others keep a serious face because they believe it looks more confident. In reality, both extremes can create the wrong impression. The most effective expression is natural and relaxed, with a small hint of positive emotion. It looks genuine because it is genuine. Think about people who seem naturally attractive even if their features are average. Often they carry a relaxed, warm expression that makes them appear comfortable and approachable. That subtle emotional warmth can be more appealing than perfect features combined with a tense or anxious expression. Facial expressions are also difficult to control completely because they are closely connected to real emotions. If someone feels stressed or anxious, it often appears on their face even if they try to hide it. If someone feels relaxed and content, that feeling naturally shows as well. That is why the real solution is not practicing expressions in the mirror, but developing genuine inner comfort and confidence. When someone feels calm and positive internally, their face naturally reflects that. During those first few seconds, people are reading these signals carefully. They are sensing whether you seem relaxed, approachable, confident, or uncomfortable. So when you look at the entire picture, the first 3 seconds are not about physical appearance alone. What truly stands out is the overall presence someone brings into a space. It is the combination of body language, the way someone enters a room, their eye contact, and their facial expression. All of these elements communicate something about who a person is before any conversation begins. Clothes, hairstyle, or physical features might matter later. But in those first few moments, the energy someone projects usually matters far more. The encouraging part is that while physical traits are difficult to change, presence can be developed. Confidence, comfort, and self-assurance can grow over time through experience, self-development, and building a life that feels meaningful. However, this kind of presence cannot be faked. Acting confident while feeling deeply insecure usually creates a noticeable disconnect. People often sense the difference between genuine confidence and forced behavior. Real confidence grows from inner stability. It comes from developing skills, building a life you value, and becoming comfortable with who you are. When that internal foundation becomes stronger, confident body language, natural eye contact, relaxed expressions, and calm entrances into social spaces begin to appear naturally. Start noticing the signals you send during those first few seconds in any interaction. Pay attention to your energy when you enter a room, your posture, your eye contact, and the expression on your face. If those signals show anxiety or constant approval seeking, people will sense that immediately. But when someone becomes genuinely comfortable with themselves, their presence becomes calm and naturally engaging. And in those first 3 seconds, that presence is often what determines whether someone captures attention or simply fades into the background.